everyone. I'm Danielle with Trinity Readings. We are just going to do a end of September reading. This is going to be for Cancer, the sign of Cancer. So this is just kind of looking into how September is going to end. When September ends. I'm such a dork. Okay. So we're just going to look at how the energy is going to unfold for you from now until the end of September. There have been, or there will be, a total of 2 eclipses this month. So that energy alone just brings about pretty, big changes. So we're just going to see how that's going to play out for you. Keep in mind, these are general readings, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you find that the reading doesn't resonate, you can always check your moon, rising, or Venus placements, because sometimes those will resonate more. And I do offer personal readings. You can get all that information in the description box. All right. Cancer. Let's see what wants to come through. We're going to start by pulling any messages your guides have for you. I'm instantly getting like this, like hot, like this energy of a lot of heat. Like things are really heating up. Things are heating up, like just heating up. And just understand that the energy of fire, the energy of things heating up is also the energy that brings transformation, the potential for powerful change. If some of you are connecting to a fire sign, specifically connecting to somebody that's a fire sign or has heavy fire placements in their chart, what you need to know is that person, you're connecting to that person because that person is going to, or that connection to that person is going to initiate a pretty powerful change. That could be in a good way or a bad way. But just keep that in mind. That fire sign is showing up in your life to show you where a change is needed. I also feel like your relationships are a reflection of how you feel about yourself and what you believe about yourself. The way that relationships flow in your life is a reflection of how you feel about yourself and what you believe yourself to be. And so if you're finding that you're continuously getting into toxic relationships or people that are treating you as less than worthy, it is reflecting to you that there's a belief within you that you've probably held on to since childhood, and it's probably even something that people in your family, like if you've noticed that within your family there's been a lot of codependent relationships or a lot of toxic relationships or a lot of controlling narcissistic types of relationships, then there's also something taught within the family that has somehow made you feel like you're not worthy of a healthy relationship. And so I feel like the last 2 weeks you're being asked to examine your beliefs about yourself, like how you see yourself to be. I also feel like for some of you, you really need to examine your beliefs about what spiritual connections truly are. Because a spiritual connection does not mean that you suffer. It does not mean that you submit. It does not mean that your life gets put on hold until somebody else gets healed. Like, examine your beliefs about spiritual connection and kind of compare those beliefs to like just spiritual law in general. Like, do you really think that God would ask you to suffer in order to have a relationship? Let me see if we can get more messages, more insight on what this message is. Yeah, you're 100% being guided to examine how you connect to other people. Your sense of belonging when it comes to relationships, connecting to community, connecting to just people in general. I feel like you're moving in a direction of being able to form more healthy bonds and more healthy relationships. But I also feel like there is a belief that you are holding on to about how you connect with other people. And how you're supposed to connect with other people. That is making it where you've been connecting the opposite of, you've been manifesting the opposite of what you want in relationships. And so take some time. The new moon tomorrow, the 21st of September, it's a new moon, but it's like such a karmic energy. It's the second new moon of within a month in Virgo. It's also a solar eclipse. It's also at 29 degrees. And so it's like a full moon and a new moon mixed together. It's showing us what we need to release so we can have the things that we want. And so it would be really valuable for you to kind of just look at your relationship history and what you've learned about like people's roles in relationship and what you can kind of change moving forward to have healthier, more supportive connections. So let's see if we can get more messages, more insight on this message, anything else to expect for the end of September. You're showing up as King of Cups. And so that's somebody who's, you know, very much learned how to master their own emotions. Somebody who has a lot of emotional intelligence, feeling really balanced in your emotional world. It's like you're in a really good space emotionally. And what's kind of showing up for you is Six of Cups. And so again, this is a message to take some time now that your emotions are grounded and calm and you feel more in balance with your emotions. Take time to reflect back on the past. But this could also represent a past connection that is showing up for you in the next 2 weeks. I kind of feel like for some of you, you believe that you're dealing with somebody that's vulnerable. You are showing a lot of love for somebody and kind of like putting up with their unstable kind of emotions and their up and down behaviors. You're putting up with it because you're perceiving a lot of innocence in them, or like you feel like it's not intentional, something of that nature. Or they're not as healed, or they're not as advanced You're seeing it as very innocent, but I feel like it's extremely manipulative. And I feel like for some of you, you might be perceiving somebody to be your wish fulfillment, but they're actually a lesson. And I don't feel like this is anything new, like any new information to you. But I do feel like the next couple of weeks is giving you like the ultimate clarity that you need with this person in the situation. You know what I've learned is when you grow up in a toxic kind of environment, when you maybe have had a narcissistic parent or your parents fought a lot or anything like that, you tend to not see, like when you have been around toxic people for a long, like especially people that you're close to, you tend to not see danger in the way that we should see danger. And in all honesty, like really intuitive people, they really do connect to people at their core, right? And that's why you can connect to somebody and see all of this potential, because at their core, they're at our core, at our soul, we're pure, right? And I think because you connect to people in that way, you give people the benefit of the doubt. Because you can look at a toxic person and go, they just have mommy issues, right? They just didn't get love. They didn't, and it's probably 100% true, but that doesn't mean that energy's gonna change. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that they just need to be loved extra hard. It means that they have to work through their own bullshit, right? And I feel like that's what you're kind of dealing with. Yeah, and you're it's like, I feel like you have, this is like really connected to your sense of belonging, how you connect to other people. And a lot of times we will hold on to people that aren't really good for us because at least we have somebody, right? And that's connected to your sense of belonging. If you grew up in a toxic environment, then toxic energy is what feels comfortable to you. And so when something feels good, it might not really be good. It might be something that just feels very familiar to your childhood. And sometimes that's not always great. I feel like you going out of your way to show love to other people or a specific person or make somebody comfortable is really, it's really causing you a lot of pain. Like to the point that I feel like you've felt like a doormat. I definitely feel for some of you there is a connection coming back around, but I also feel at the same time you're in a space of growth. You've kind of healed, right? You're in a good space emotionally. And the outcome is the Four of Pentacles, which kind of means hanging on to something that isn't good for you, but it feels safe. There's like this energy of like control. Yeah. Eight of Swords and Four of Pentacles. It's like you're good until this energy of the past shows back up, or this connection shows up, and it feels good to you. It feels like this beautiful wish fulfillment. You know, a lot of times, like when you connect to somebody and you just instantly feel like all this insane passion and all these butterflies, and that isn't a sign of love. Love, genuine unconditional love, makes you feel calm. It makes you feel at peace. And I think that we sometimes mistake attraction for love. And I feel like that might be, it's like there's something about this connection that, well, this is the person I'm supposed to be with. This is my soulmate. This is my person. We have the same sun sign. We have, it's like there's something that you believe is meant to be with this, or you believe that you're healing this person. But I feel like this, it's like this person is not as innocent as they appear to be. Your guidance is 5 of Pentacles. It's examine, it's like, examine your abandonment wounds, examine your fears of rejection, and are your fears of abandonment or your fears of being alone keeping you connected to something that is very toxic? Yeah, because what you're not seeing is like it's time for you to move on. And I feel like it's like you might be looking for something else to come along before you make this final decision to let this go. But I feel like you have to let this go. Like, it's really draining your energy. It's really draining your creativity. And again, I feel like it's a relationship that might be very passionate. There's this intensity to it, and the intensity is getting misinterpreted as this is the ultimate love. Like, this is what twin flame love is. This is and it's not. And I hate to say that, and I hate to kind of like burst the bubble that real love is like very calm and very peaceful and very not comforting in the sense of comfort. Because in all honesty, again, if you have had a difficult childhood, if you did not get the emotional nurturing that you needed as a child, and that's not to say that your parents were bad. Like, you know, if your mom and dad both had to work, right, and so there was always a lot of money stress, then you probably didn't get that emotional nurturing because your parents were stressed, right? Doesn't mean that your parents were bad parents, but if that's what you grew up with, then your baseline comfort level is going to mirror that, right? So it's going to be, you know, a relationship that might look good on the surface, but you're not really getting your emotional needs met, right? But it feels good. But it feels good because it reminds you of childhood, and your childhood maybe, and again, this is not to talk shit about anybody's parents, but I was in love. I mean, I love, and I still love this person, but very much in love with this person. I felt so good every time I connected to this person, every time I talked to this person. I'm like, there's no way this person could be a bad person. And there was something that he said after, I mean, I was in love with him for a long time, but there was something that he said one day, or the way he responded to me being kind of emotional about something, was like exactly what my mom would have said. And I was like, holy fuck, that's my mom. And my mom, I hope she doesn't watch this, which she probably doesn't, but my mom was a narcissist. My mom was not nice to me. She was not good to me. And it made me realize that I was probably subconsciously trying to heal that relationship with my mother. And that's why it felt so good, because he was just like my fucking mother. On that note, I love you guys. Have a wonderful end of September.